just say? Okay. Ding dong, the witch is dead.
What were you gonna do?
I was gonna pick it up a little bit.
No, because I can't see you.
Oh, okay. You have to keep me within your line of sight.
I do. I have to see people. I'll just have to talk right up on it. Like when you see singers, they're like kissing the microphone.
That's what we're doing. We're kissing the microphone.
Hello. So today,
I think it's the type of mics that we have too.
On today's story.
One of these days we'll have good mics.
Our mics sound better than some.
Yeah, they do sound good. Yeah. It's just the fact that we have to be like this, crouching down in front of them.
We have to be kissing it.
Mm-hmm.
Licking it.
We're having whiskey tonight, folks. Whiskey and Sprite.
You know how we get on whiskey.
It's a whiskey night.
Do you ever watch Schitt's Creek?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. You have got to watch it.
Is it hilarious?
It's hilarious.
I've seen... Well, there's a ton of memes out there.
And I notice sometimes I'll say things and I'll be like, oh, that's how she would say it. Whiskey. Everything's like it's a question. With a bit of a
I sound more like a dog. At least my dogs.
Anyway.
This whiskey is good. And just a warning, we've already pre-gaming.
Yeah, like
we had a full glass.
A strong full glass. Grass?
Whatever floats your boat.
It's called Tipsy Tales, so just let us be.
Okay.
Let it be. Let it be. Okay. So what's
happening, Gustav?
Huh. It's all about you.
Why?
Because congratulations, you're a grandma again.
Again? Oh yeah,
he's so cute.
He is. He is so cute.
So cute.
He is.
I can't wait to be a grandma. I'm really excited.
It really is the best because, you don't have the responsibility of raising them, so you get to enjoy them.
Yeah, you get to do all the things you want to and then send them home. What else? You went on a trip.
I did. I was gone for like a whole week.
And I wanted to go on a trip.
I saw the Queen Mary.
Did you?
Yeah, we were in Long Beach for the evening. We went to go meet a friend of mine for dinner.
You could have dinner on the Queen Mary.
Yeah, but we ended up at we could have.
We went to Taco Bell.
No, it was Yard House, but it was like right there. Yeah, it was right. We could see the Queen Mary, and then I was telling Albert, I said we should go over there afterwards.
Yeah,
but we realized that it was a lot farther away than it actually looked, and it was late by the time we're done eating and stuff. So, but I took a picture of it.
Oh, that's good.
But it was, because he was taking some classes out there, so it was less pleasure than I would have really liked it to be.
Yeah.
But it was nice. We did have fun. The first weekend I was there, we went to the beach. That was fun.
Yeah.
Except the freaking waves were scary. They scared me.
They were huge?
They were not just huge, they were super aggressive. And I think it was like the incline of the beach that we were on. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But it was really nice. It was a really nice day. We were out there with a couple of my cousins, and I got to meet my cousins. I got to meet Bianca's baby.
Oh, stop.
Yeah. Aww. He is the cutest. He is so cute.
Oh, my. I'm glad you got to see her.
Yeah, I did. We did. It was good. It was good to see her.
Is her husband doing well?
He's doing good. I mean, he's still,
recovering.
Has his day-to-day, but, he looks good.
Good.
Yeah.
Aw, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good to see them both. But yeah, I got to meet the new little guy.
Babies everywhere.
Yes, babies everywhere. What else? I was going to talk about something. Oh, I had my grandson all week because
the new baby.
Because the new baby, and I was, giving my daughter.
Okay, wait. Let's just talk about timing, because before you went on this trip, you were worried.
Oh my God,
she was going to go into labor.
Yes, I was. I was so stressed out about that.
And then as soon as you get back, Literally.
We're on the road. We were still on the road, but we were maybe about 60 miles out when she texted me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like the baby knew.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I gotta wait.
Yep.
Now I can do it.
Yeah. I was for sure that he was going to be born earlier in the week because she was
dropped really low.
She was dropped. His head was down there,
dilated.
She was dilated. She was already like, this is going to happen. I'm like, well, if it does, it does. And at this point, because of all the restrictions with COVID, I wasn't going to be able to be in there with her anyways. But my concern was, what if he's at work because he works all the way out in Tempe? She could bring the baby over here and go to the hospital at least. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Anyways, it all worked out.
Amazing.
Everything worked out.
Anyway, you were going to say something, but what were you going to?
Oh, we got an email. We're laughing because some jokester sent us an email. He really liked our episode on the Bermuda Triangle.
Yes, that's what it was.
He says,
what a joker. I mean, somebody needs to put this guy in his place. We're kidding. We love this joker.
We do. And this joker was Philip, who reminded us that we didn't read his email.
Yes, your picture is so pretty.
Anyways, I'm going to read it. Said email. Says, I really like your idea of aliens landing and returning the people they took, but I liked it the first time I saw it in 1977 when it was called Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Why are we humoring him? He's
ha 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 ha.
He's being
he literally
a shithead.
Wrote out ha 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 ha.
He did. He's being a little shit, and we're humoring him.
And then in parentheses puts abducted people got off the ship at the end, World War II pilots and whatnot. It was very cool.
Okay, to my credit, it's been 40. Wait, let's see. I mean, I had to have been like 9 or 10. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
When that came out.
1977.
Yeah, and I'm old.
She's counting on her fingers, folks. Anyways, I'm going to continue.
9 or 10. Yeah.
I think the new format is good, and I think, like you guys said, that killings usually go with some paranormal stuff. So good luck with the new format, and Carlene, good luck with your movie. Ha ha ha. Thanks, guys. Love ya, Philip.
Philip. Philip, are you just worried that you have competition in the movie writing business? Because
yeah. He's like, just send me your script so I can read it.
Right. Been done, Carlene.
Let's just make sure that it hasn't been done before you send it out.
Why? They don't do that in Hollywood. They just remake everything. Oh my God,
everything's a remake these days. Oh, you haven't told me about your week.
Nothing big happened in my week. No, it was all very mellow.
Mellow yellow?
Yeah, it was uneventful. I mean, I had 2 of the cutest pups at my house.
Oh, yeah.
My soul doggies.
Yeah. How did that go?
Gosh, it went well. It was the bitch cat I couldn't handle, but
Yeah. She watched my dogs for me while I was gone. Well, she watched 2 of them. Mm-hmm. That way, my son didn't have to go crazy. He was house sitting for us.
I have to say, though, I am like the parent that shows pictures to everybody of their kids. Mm-hmm. I could be talking to a stranger at the grocery store and be like, yeah, I was watching my friend's dog. Oh, here, let me show you some pictures. I was watching my friend's dogs. This one's my soul dog. She'll be mine eventually here. I'm just waiting for my bitch cat to die. And then, oh, but I love her. She's my precious, but she's an asshole. And, and then I show them all. I'm not kidding. I have so many pictures of these dogs. I did it to you guys.
Yeah, you sent us a ton.
I just wanted you to know your dogs were having fun. I do it to Connor and Leslie.
Yeah.
Send them pictures of
Which
dogs.
Was surprising to me because when recently Shorty went with my mother-in-law for not even 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And she almost starved herself because she's like, I need to go home. So,
yeah, but she had Athena with her.
Yeah, that's true.
And they see me all the time.
Yeah.
And who are they usually glued to?
Right. No, they're always right at her feet when she's here.
So like,
yeah. It was like, I mean, within an hour you called me. You're like, she's not even doing the panting thing.
No.
She's fine.
No, they didn't. As soon as you left, they were like a little bit like, and then they sniffed around. Oh, we know you. Yeah, this is all good. And they were fine.
Right. She had her bed and everything there.
Yeah.
But
and the blanket.
And her blanket.
Whatever. Yeah.
Huh?
The bedspread thing.
Yeah. The birthing blanket.
That was my most entertaining, the way she'd go under it like she's playing hide and seek. It was the funniest thing.
I'm telling you, she gave birth on that blanket, and there's like their comfort blanket.
They definitely loved that blanket.
Yeah.
And then sleeping with me. And sleeping with me wasn't even that bad. It was just when they feel like they have to be on top of you and give you a corner of the mattress and they think they're little dogs. And then you have the cat, senile, but also an asshole, because she's like, I need to make your life miserable. Bang, 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 bang.
And then Carlene slept out on her sofa bed the whole time.
And finally, like the last 2 nights, I figured out how to make it comfortable. And I was like, this isn't so bad. I actually slept out there a few times after.
Really?
Because asshole won't let me sleep. Last night I did not sleep, but I just didn't want to make the bed, so... I was like, I'm staying in here. You are not going to win. I put her under the covers and would like snuggle her, and I'm like, you're not going to win. I'm going to win this fight. She's just like, okay, I'll sit here for a second, but then I'm going to start clawing the shit out of you. And she did, look.
I was going to ask you, did my dogs do that right now?
Asshole did it. I'm surprised she hasn't like, I've heard what you call me, because of course I don't say that to her. She's my baby, and I'm like, hey, you're my little baby, baby. But she probably hears me out there. Oh yeah, bitch in there. And then she's like, I hear everything. And then while I'm sleeping, I'm surprised she's not like, I could just lay on her face and smother her right now. I feel my food coming. And
that's what she's doing. She's paying you back all the time.
She's like, I'm going to puke in her mouth right now.
Oh my God. Don't. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
She did puke on my bed once, though. Did I tell you about this?
Yeah, you did.
And I stuck my hand in it, and I was like asleep, and I was like, wait, what is wet? And it was cat puke. I stuck my hand in it. So I'm glad it was next to me and not in my mouth. Hi, my baby.
Shorty is back.
Okay, well, so enough of that fun.
Should we get started?
I guess so. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think that's.
I mean, I can whip out some farting and shit jokes if we need to. Just kidding. We talked about puke, bitch, cat. I can get more foul if we need to.
Talk about all the presents my dogs left you at your house.
The puke. Okay, we can move on. Okay, she just loves me. She does love you, girl.
She does love you. She's looking at me like, look, she loves me. She pays attention.
Yeah,
I do love you, Mama.
And everybody that came over, they were getting tons of attention.
All right, well, maybe we should get into our story, which you picked.
And go.
You picked the story. This is your baby.
Yes, it is. It's a good one, I think.
I think so too.
You guys could feel free to message us, like, comment, whatever you want. Tell us what you think about this one.
All right. The Dark Watchers. And this one's pretty close. It's in California. It's a legend that seems to be centered in the Big Sur area, in the peaks of Santa Lucia. Oh my God, here we go.
Santa Lucia?
Reading is hard. In the peaks of the Santa Lucia Mountains, which run up from about Avila Beach through San Luis Obispo. The sightings of tall, dark, cloaked apparitions who just seem to quietly observe hikers and travelers have persisted as folklore in California. Travelers are said to spot the Watchers on some rocky prominence, but by the second glance, they have vanished into thin air. The encounters go back hundreds of years, and when the Spanish arrived in the 1700s, they called them Los Vigilantes Oscuros, literally translated as the Dark Watchers.
I'm really glad you read that, not me.
Do you want me to do it in my coconut? It's Los Vigilantes Oscuros.
I would have the computer say
it. They're described as about 10 feet tall, or 3 meters, with wide-brimmed hats. Some of the descriptions, like the hats are almost like witch hats.
Yeah, they say they kind of look like, or even like, picture a pilgrim hat.
Yeah.
Some of them look kind of like that, but they're a little taller.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, pilgrim hat is a good description.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think of when I saw them. I was like, that looks like a pilgrim hat, just taller.
They also have ragged capes or cloaks, like the Grim Reaper.
Yeah. Sometimes
seen carrying a long walking stick or staffs. Imagine Gandalf the Grey, but more like Gandalf the Black, which I don't know if that's a thing. It's not. There have also been sightings of small, pale humanoid creatures that ambles about on all fours searching for his precious.
What?
I'm just joking.
Oh. I didn't see that part.
It is also said that the stories go as far back as the Chumash, people who may have inhabited the area prior to the Europeans arriving. And they're said to have inhabited the area for like about 13,000 years. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, like they basically are shadows because like even their faces, they don't have faces because it's all black. Mm-hmm. So basically it's a shadow figure.
Yeah, no features. But like the 13,000 years is the Chumash.
But think about this. I get people that will say they saw a shadow figure watching them that was wearing like a tall hat.
Yeah, that's actually a thing. Like,
Holy
especially if you watch a lot of paranormal stuff.
I get it all the time. I get people saying
that's
that.
a thing. And I was running into that in some of the stuff I was listening to where they were kind of making comparisons to that.
Yeah, now it's kind of... It doesn't make sense for everybody because I've had, for some, that means something else.
Right.
But
the tall hat shadow person is a thing.
I think this could be the Watchers.
It's interesting.
It does make sense to me. I mean, if we have archangels, okay, we'll get into that. But yeah, go ahead.
All right. Supposedly the legend of a similar being was passed down via their oral history, the Chumash.
Right.
But most of the articles I was reading, they kind of downplay that and seem to agree that there was nothing of the sort that appears in Chumash mythology. But there is a 1,700-page doctoral dissertation by Thomas Blackburn that was written in 1974. It's called December's Child, a book of Chumash oral narratives that is cited in a few of the articles I came across in my research. Of course, I didn't read it, because it's like 1,700 pages long. Yeah. But I did find a blog titled Dark Watchers by Brian Dunning, which is probably podcast notes from, I think this is his podcast, Skeptoid Podcast. But it looks like it was like all the way back in 2016. All the way back. Way back in 2016.
So long ago.
Anyways.
2020 added about 15 years to us. So
yeah, that's what I feel the same. I feel the same.
I'm going to say, yeah.
So he surmises that the closest thing he came across, which he has studied this guy in his writings and stuff. The closest thing he came across in the writings was a creature called the Nunasis, and I'm probably butchering that. Chumash believe the earth as we know it is the middle world, an island surrounded by ocean, and the sun and other celestial bodies occupy the upper world. And below is a lower world, which is kind of sounds like what we have think about.
Heaven, earth, hell. That's that they're just saying it different.
Right. And below is a lower world. Among the denizens of the lower world are the Nunasis, monstrous and misshapen animals who come up to the middle world at night and spread illness, bad luck, and other negative things. They can be shaped like men, but they're neither dark nor cloaked or known for standing sentinel-like on prominences, then vanishing. So none of this seems to apply to that.
Yeah.
The Chumash also believed in shape-shifting animals and humans, basically the same skinwalker belief widely held by many Native American cultures. Even modern writers such as John Steinbeck memorialized them. Do you remember having to read Grapes of Wrath?
Yes.
Memorialized them in his book of short stories, The Long Valley, in 1938. He grew up in that area with all those legends. And
a lot of those writers, a lot of those artists did stuff on that.
So in his story, that book, there's a short story called Flight, and it mentions the Dark Watchers. Steinbeck's story is that of a teenage boy, Pepe.
Oh.
Hey, Pepe. Who kills a man during a moment of thoughtless drunkenness. Knowing it means his end at the hands of the law, his mother advises him to flee and has only scant moments to give a few words of advice.
Can I just say something? While you were talking, I had a little burp, and it's not an EVP.
Just so you guys know.
I don't want you to hear and be like,
hey guys,
do you hear that? What do you think it's saying? It's Groot. It's Groot.
Groot.
It's
Groot.
Groot. Groot. That's the sound. It's Carlene's throat talking.
Okay, so here's a quote from that. It says, "When thou comest to high mountains, if thou seest any of the dark watching men, go not near them, nor try to speak to them, and forget not thy prayers," which is really kind of weird for Pepe's mom. He escapes into the mountains.
Okay. That's not different.
He ends up escaping into the mountains.
Oh no.
And
of course
he's in the mountains, and here's another quote from the story. It says, Pepe looks suspiciously Pepe looked suspiciously. Why was that so hard?
I don't know.
Back every minute or so, and his eyes sought the tops of the ridges ahead. Okay, it's starting to hit me.
Well,
I feel it.
Are you on your second? Yeah. See, we're almost done with our second glass. So.
Okay. It's a good thing this is going to be a short episode. Once on a white barren spur, he saw a black figure for a moment, but he looked quickly away, for it was one of the Dark Watchers. No one knew who the Watchers were, nor where they lived, but it was better to ignore them and never to show interest in them. They did not bother one who stayed on the trail and minded his own business. So that was a quote from his book. Interestingly enough, Steinbeck's son also co-authored a book about the Watchers.
What?
Yeah, so it seemed to run in the family.
Yeah.
And then there was a poem written around the same time that Steinbeck wrote this thing. This thing that I just read.
This, that little thing that every single person knows about.
Okay, just remember what we're called. Tipsy Tales. Guys,
that's why you love
Tipsy
us.
Tales. All right.
We have to live up to our name and reputation.
Right. So the author of the poem is Robinson Jeffers, who happened to live in Big Sur, and he mentions them as well. Excuse me, guys, because I was thinking of whether I was going to read this or not, but I'm going to read it. But when he approached the fall of the hill toward Howrans, he saw apparently a person on the verge, outlined against the darkening. Commissure of the farther hills, intently gazing into the valley, the young man's tired and dulled mind, bred in these hills, taught in the city, reverted easily. Toward his dead childhood. He thought it might be one of the Watchers, who are often seen in this length of coast range, forms that look human. to human eyes, but certainly are not human. They come from behind ridges and watch, but when he approached it, he recognized the shabby clothes and pale hair, and even the averted forehead and the concave line from the eye to the jaw, so that he was not surprised. When the figure turning toward him in the quiet twilight showed his own face, then it melted and merged. Into the shadows beyond it, the young man thought heavily that in his state of mind and body hallucination was not surprising. So that was interesting. So what the fuck are they?
Do you want me to tell you?
Well, do you want to go over the scientific stuff, or do you want to?
No, go over the scientific stuff.
Are you sure?
Do you want me to tell you what I think?
Yeah, I think you should
read my part.
You should read your part now.
Wow.
And then after you're done, let's do that. Scientific explanations of what they might be.
I need to prepare for this. It sounds like I just took a hit off a joint. Hold on, I'm getting Kleenex. I'm preparing. I got to prepare for this story.
Yes.
Those are clean, by the way.
Yeah, and they didn't come out of your bra.
No. These are fresh and new. They're a little sweaty, but okay.
You're so weird. You're so weird.
Here we go. Okay, so what do I think the Watchers are? Okay, so I'm not even going to really read my thing. I'm going to go through it, though.
Okay.
Okay, so...
I scared myself. I punched my microphone.
Oh
Sorry,
my God.
guys.
That was funny. Okay, so back in the biblical times, there were angels that were mentioned in the book of Daniel, in the book of Enoch.
Right. Which is apocryphal, because there's not an actual book of Enoch in the Bible.
Well, but it was taken out.
Right.
It's
not canon.
Yeah, it used to be a part of the Bible, but it was taken out. Anyway, which
it's quoted enough in the Bible. Like it's weird that it's not actually there.
Yeah, but it once was. But like many parts of the Bible, it was removed. Anyway, leave me. Just don't listen to me. What do I know? Okay, the Watcher means those who are awake. Guard. Interesting, right? That's all I got. I'm just kidding.
That's it? That's your story? Okay, yeah. Guys, we're done.
We're done. Okay, so, so do you know, I'm going to read this because I didn't know a whole lot about this. The Enoch is an ancient Hebrew let's see if I can say apocalyptic. Whew, did you see me? Religious text ascribed by tradition to Enoch.
Yeah.
The great grandfather of Noah. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Damn, you know a lot. I did not know.
Did you know he lived to be 900 years old?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so Enoch contains unique material on the origins of demons and Nephilim. Anyway, why some angels fell from heaven, an explanation. Okay, we don't need to hear all that. But anyway, I'm just going to go through it. I'm just going to tell you what happens. So there were a group of angels that were like, God said, I'm going to send you angels to earth, like 200 of them. And this is what you're going to do. And they were good angels. And then he sent them to earth. And then it's almost like they got a taste of this life. And they were like, yeah, we like them women. And so they were like, no longer good.
Right.
So like there's other angels like we were talking about where I don't know if they call them white angels, good angels, light angels, or just archangels like Gabriel, Uriel, all of them, Raphael. But those were also considered in that, not in the 200, but like watchers.
Right.
But they're not the dark watchers.
Right.
So anyway, because this is what this says. The book of Enoch refers to both good and bad watchers, with more focus on the rebellious ones.
Right.
So the book of Enoch, the watchers are angels dispatched to earth to watch over the humans. They soon they soon begin to lust for human women.
Right.
They're like, yeah, give me some of that.
Which is pretty much in the book of Genesis.
Is it?
Yeah.
At the prodding, by the way, I did not grow up in a religious family. Alma did. This is why.
I was...
And the things that I know, I am taught by actual spirits. So that's why I don't get tainted by physical world. So if I'm like, I call bullshit, it's probably because it's bullshit. But I won't get in. I don't get involved in people's.
I call a lot of bullshit,
Yeah.
but it's a story.
It is. And there's certain stories that are given as like a guide.
Right.
They're not, and some of them aren't even meant to be literal.
Right.
But people take them literal only when they want to.
I'm not playing footsie with you, I promise.
She's playing footsie with me. Okay. They soon begin to lust over human women at the prodding of their leader. Oh, I knew how to say this.
Samyaza.
Yes. You know, God, you remember this?
I told you I read the whole book
I
of
don't
Enoch.
know how you read this book, the whole book.
And it had nothing to do with my religious thing.
Yeah,
it was
you were
because,
just curious, or what?
No, it was because I was writing a book, and
Oh,
it was
that's
part
right.
of the
That's
research
right.
I was
That's
doing.
right.
So
That's insane. I mean, that's awesome to do, just for
shits and giggles.
Information.
It was interesting. It was super interesting. Too.
yeah.
Well, the whole Nephilim thing and them coming down and
Quite honestly, reading the Bible is interesting. Like the stories in it are interesting. Okay, so basically this is what happened.
Right.
They went after the women. They ended up impregnating the women and having these Nephilim, so savage giants who became the offspring.
right
They were just these
horrible beings.
horrible, grotesque beings who pillaged the earth and endangered humanity. Basically, they became like cannibals, and they were just awful, disgusting.
Which is kind of interesting because if you kind of like look into, I know we're getting really far off the whole Watchers thing, but a lot of the demigods of like the Greeks and the Romans and stuff are attributed to the Nephilim.
They do.
Maybe, possibly.
Yeah, they do. So here come these dark angels, right? And then they have their offspring who are worse than their fathers.
Right.
I mean, that's insane.
Right.
It's like they created something even more disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh. Better take a drink. It's heavy. Okay, so Samaya, what is it?
Samyaza.
Samyaza. Okay. Right? Samyaza? Samyaza. Okay, and his associates further taught their human charges. Okay, they taught the humans arts and technologies. They taught them about weapons and stuff. Oh, look, they taught them about cosmetics, mirrors, sorcery, and techniques. So basically everything we know today, they taught us that would otherwise be discovered gradually over time by humans, not foisted upon them all at once. Eventually, God allows the great flood. So he's like, I'm going to have, see, I never heard this part.
No.
Where God's like, I'm going to have a flood to
Wipe away these.
But he wanted to preserve the humans. He wanted to get rid of the Nephilim.
Oh.
Nephilim. He wanted to get rid of them. I didn't know that part.
Right.
They don't tell you that
Meanwhile,
in the little movies.
those angels floated away. Like they were like,
yeah, we're cool. Like the flood's not going to matter to us.
Yeah.
So anyway, basically what they say is like they were kind of damned to earth forever. I mean, I think it was like 120 years or something like that. is something said here, but then that doesn't make any sense. It was supposed to be forever, I think. One of these things said something like that, but everything else was like forever, and I'm like, doesn't make sense.
The interesting part about it was that Enoch was the intermediary between God and these angels, like trying to negotiate back and forth in the story.
Yeah.
Like he's like, you go talk to these motherfuckers because they're not listening to me. And Enoch's over there trying to reason with them in the book of Enoch. So if it's an actual book, like an actual
thing that happened.
Yeah. It was funny.
Well, yeah, because here it says, eventually God allows great flood to rid the earth of those disgusting beings, but first sends Uriel to warn Noah so that as to not eradicate the human race. The watchers are bound in the valleys of the earth until Judgment Day. Oh, it says here, the chiefs of tens listed in the book of Enoch are as follows. So I get a list of the names.
Oh, yeah. Don't read them.
What? Why? Are you afraid they're going to come?
Just don't read them.
It tells what they did, though.
Yeah.
So, like, this Azazel. Huh?
Azazel.
How come I can't say these names?
I don't know.
Say it again.
Azazel.
I was able to say them earlier when I was reading it. And now, maybe it's this whiskey. Azazel. Because I keep wanting to say, like, Azrael. See, I can't even say what I say every day.
The cat and the Smurfs.
Oh, fuck.
The evil cat.
See, this is why I don't read people when I'm drunk. Can you imagine me going, an archangel, never mind. Just move on. You know who I'm talking about. Okay. But you know.
So the thing is that they basically become damn spirits. Like, they're the demons.
Hold on. This one was just sent to teach humans about knives, swords, shields, and so on. Mm-hmm. And then, but was much worse than that.
I can't remember that. I think it was called Fallen. It was a Denzel Washington.
Oh, yes.
That was the demon that was entering him. It was Azazel.
Azazel. Like, how come I can't say that 2 seconds ago? So stupid. I would love to read these to you, but I just wanted to read some of what their acts were. Like, one was taught humans the signs of the earth, led souls to humans to judgment, taught humanity the resolving of enchantments. I mean, they all have like little jobs, but they're fucked up. Mm-hmm. Okay, so anyway, there's other versions of.
You're like, etc., etc.
Oh, etc. That's right. We said we were going to use that more. Anyway, that's how I want to leave it. I don't think there's anything more interesting.
Okay. So what's the link to the Watchers? So you think that
I
this
just got
possibly
it off of
is
Wikipedia because everything that was being said about it was basically coming off of Wikipedia.
Right.
So, but
so your theory is?
I mean, do you believe? I don't know. I mean, if you believe in archangels, which I do, then you kind of have to believe in this.
Right. So they're the opposite at this point because of.
I mean, do you believe in the D? Because then you would have to believe in this too.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
So I feel like, well, no.
And why wouldn't there be a dark energy of angels that were like this, that did naughty things?
Well, and supposedly they became jealous of God's love of humans.
Oh, that's right. There was a thing about that. Yeah. They were just like, they were jealous in general.
Right.
It was like, because they became like a part of Satan.
Right.
And working for him, because it was that whole rebellion and jealousy of his power and that power, and it was a power struggle. Right. It was whose balls are greater.
Right.
That's really what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, they just got a little taste of some human. Ugh. Yeah, it was pretty gross. But in one of them, it was making it sound like, they took these women as their wives, and they were like, they were so gentle and loving. That was only a few that I would read, but no, they weren't. They were basically raping and pillaging.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't a pretty thing.
They were taking. They weren't.
Yeah. And impregnating and creating these monsters. It's not like it was like they're good monsters that were just like, hey, baby, I'm a dark angel and I want to impregnate you.
I mean, if you read some of these fantasy novels.
I guess, maybe, right? Anyway, so that's one theory.
Right.
And then we have the theories of what actually could be on what people are actually seeing, right?
Right.
You have those theories, don't you?
So, yeah, the more scientific
I guess
theories.
so.
Yeah. So, but I think that's a good, like, it's because that's interesting because, I mean, they were bound to the earth.
I just find this pretty credible only because now that it kind of struck me when we were talking about them being like shadow figures with top hats.
Right.
How many people I've had, like, I woke up and there was this dark figure and it was wearing a top hat and a cloak.
That is, but it's so weird because if you're like really into all of these paranormal shows and like when they do this, like Dead Files and all that, that seems to be a theme of things that people see, like when they're seeing entities. Like they'll wake up to a shadow figure with a dark hat standing at the end of their bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It is crazy.
So, I don't know.
And I mean, if you can wake up and see Aunt Mary at the foot of your bed, or you can wake up and see an angel glowing, then why can't you wake up and see that?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't doubt people that have these
I don't
things.
either. I mean, obviously I don't because they're my
Well,
clients and I have to help them through it.
Okay. So one of the explanations that's out there is, okay, so one of the explanations. See, I can say, I can remember
hard-ass names.
but I can't say explanations.
I was helping you.
Yeah.
And now, in explanation?
Yeah. See, look at it.
Yeah.
Exactly. See? This
That's
is why we're a team.
That is so crazy how, like, I could be reading this shit at home and be totally fine, and I get over here, have 2 glasses of this, and I can't fucking... as what was that? What was that? Can you say this for me?
I do the same thing.
It's so insane. Okay.
So one of the explanations is, basically like our mind's ability to seek patterns in things. And there's a name. It's called pareidolia.
No, look at you. See, that's a hard one.
I know.
Pareidolia.
The psychological phenomenon in which an observer's brain finds patterns or significance in a vague or random image. Like seeing Jesus in a piece of toast.
I saw that. That made sense.
So maybe the ordinary patterns in the mountains are interpreted by the brain into a human-like figure.
It's kind of that, when you get those things on like Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and you stare at the dot.
And then you see Jesus' face.
And then you look away and you see Jesus' face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So imagine like somebody driving down the coast and the sun is right there.
Right.
And there's like a reflection or something. They don't realize that and they look up and then they're like,
yeah,
shadow figure.
I think I don't know, this one's interesting. This tracks with the fact that many who have encounters tend to have them in the late afternoon when the long shadows fall over the hills and the trees and outcroppings.
Well, they do say that you will only see them dusk or dawn.
Yeah. So that's interesting because this next one was the same pattern seeking by the brain could also be amplified by the presence of fog or clouds and an illusionary effect known as Brocken specter. And I saw pictures of this where people actually took pictures and you can see a figure. It's weird that they actually...
is it that one that was like the rainbow colored background?
Yeah, exactly. The rainbow. It says the Brocken specter happens when shadows like those of a hiker are cast on a particular... Sorry. That is not an EVP.
Not an EVP. She's belching.
Are cast on particularly misty mountain peaks. If the sun is behind the observer, the mist plays with the shadow, making it look huge and menacing, and are usually surrounded by a rainbow-colored halo produced by sunlight refracting off the water droplets in the clouds. Science.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to be like, there's a hiker up there, and you just happen to look up there. But people usually say they see more than one.
Right.
And they're usually stationed in certain places where humans can't get, is what they say.
Right.
So I don't know about that.
I don't know, but these are just some of the theories that are out there. Also, did you and I do the story on Dyatlov Pass?
The what?
Dyatlov Pass.
I don't remember.
Well, anyways, this other theory was in that as well. Okay, infrasound. Sound below 20 hertz, lower than what the human ear can detect, is also a theory thrown out there. It can be generated by ocean waves, and experiments have shown that it can cause anxiety, insomnia, and can even cause human eyes to vibrate.
Wait, when I read that, hold on, pause for a second.
Okay.
When you read that, what else do you think about the most recent stories that we did? I thought about the Bermuda Triangle.
Well, wasn't that one of the theories?
Wasn't
infrasound one of the theories?
I don't think so. It should be, though.
Maybe we didn't talk about it, but I think I remember hearing it somewhere.
It should have been. Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought about. Okay, I'm sorry. I totally interrupted you.
No, that's fine.
I just had to get that out before I forget.
So it can cause anxiety, insomnia, and can even cause human eyes to vibrate, which freaks me the fuck out, creating distorted vision and hallucinations.
That's so crazy, isn't it? Yeah, that freaked me out when I saw that. I was like, ugh. Can you imagine your eyeballs?
Yeah, that's just crazy. We can tack on all these scientific explanations, but people still have encounters in these areas that they can't explain, and probably nothing can convince them that these encounters are anything other than paranormal. And okay, so some of the paranormal theories that are out there are elemental spirits, which some believe to be ancient spirits that protect the earth. They appear as gnomes, brownies, dryads, Daedalus, elves, hamadryads, Pans, Pygmies, Sylvesters, Satyrs, and any other earth spirits like gnomes.
Is it satires or
Satyrs?
Oh.
I don't know. Like we did a story on El Duende, like forest spirits that are similar and have counterparts around the world. Could they be ghosts of ancient civilizations?
Could they be aliens?
Maybe darker spirits like the little D, like we were just talking about.
Right.
Which
that makes me, they're probably in relation to that.
Well, I don't.
If that's what they are.
Okay, so here's my thing though about the darker spirits is that these ones just, they're not malevolent, that nobody feels any malevolence from them.
Okay, but did you see the part that says if you interact with them or if you like see them face to face,
right,
then you have like terrible luck, something bad will happen to you.
But is that just folklore, like stuff passed down?
It could be. I don't know. Is all this we don't know
exactly.
And then I mean, if you're gonna talk about it, you gotta talk about everything,
right?
And then it was like bad luck, something bad will happen to you. So I mean, in a sense, something bad.
So it's like if you see them out of the corner of your eye, it's better not to acknowledge their presence.
Yes, don't acknowledge them.
Right.
Like you're supposed to just
carry on.
Go on because but see, to me that's
that's not your natural reaction though, because if you
like,
don't know if it's a spirit or if it's a person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're in the woods alone. If something sneaks up on you or just appears, you're automatically going to look at it.
And they say by the time you take the second look, they're gone.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So that's crazy too.
They just like you look at them, you turn around, you're like, what the fuck was that? And you turn around and look back and they're gone.
Yeah.
Boop.
Anyway, that's crazy, guys.
But okay, so like when I was talking about the darker spirits, and to my point about them, the malevolence, they just like silently watch.
I mean, they're just watching.
Yeah. Also, so nothing like seeing the Mothman.
Right.
Because the Mothman like seems to almost like be a premonition to something bad that would come after that. You know what I mean? Like disasters and anyways. But these guys are just like quietly observing and they just disappear off into
so how bad can they be?
I don't know.
Nobody's actually said I ran into one and he bit my friend's head off and now my headless friend is up there and I had to run for my life.
Right.
And no one said like my wife was taking a hike and was molested by one.
Yeah.
That's never happened.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, because they like women. My wife got pregnant by one and now came a monster.
All right. Some stories for people that wrote their own encounters.
You're welcome.
It's weirdca.com. It's WEIRCA. Oh my God.
Oh,
I'm going to do it again. WEIRDCA.com. Weird CA for California.com. All right. This one's Andres of Bakersfield, California. And this one's pretty recent. It's 8/14/21.
Ooh.
And they went all the way back to like 2006. Like there was a few back there that were pretty.
I mean, that's pretty recent for me because most of the ones I saw were like way back.
Yeah. So, and there was a lot more than what I just took a few off of there. Mm-hmm. But we can take turns reading these.
Oh, just go ahead. You're doing fine.
You keep reading. You keep fucking up.
Yeah, I don't want to mess
It's
it
okay.
up.
Hold on. Let me take a drink here before I read this because I need to stutter some more. All right. Andres of Bakerfield. He says, I was driving home from a beach trip with my girlfriend in 2016, going through Kuyama. Is that how you say that?
I don't know.
It was pitch black outside. We saw a large shadow figure glide across the road in front of our headlights. No notable features, just a large, dark, shadowy creature. If she wasn't awake to confirm what I just saw, I would have chalked it up to me being tired, but she saw what I saw. Mm-hmm. We let it go until a few days ago when we brought it up again, searched up by shadow people in Kuyama, and learned about dark watchers in Santa Lucia. This is so crazy to learn. We aren't alone in this experience.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then this is from Dan of Arizona, 2021, actually January this year. He says, back when I was a teenager, I used to go hiking in the desert and a mountain range where I lived 7 miles outside of Blythe, California. Mm-hmm. One afternoon, I went deeper into the mountain range than I had ever hiked before when I felt like I was being watched.
Whoa.
The hairs on my arms stood up. I quickly started looking around, fearing a mountain lion was nearby. When I looked up towards the top of the mountains and saw a small cave-like opening at the top of a sheer wall, there looked out towards the valley. I could see a hooded human figure. I could not see its face since it looked like it was covered by a thin veil, but the hood and cloak looked tattered and ripped. The figure made no movements. I turned around and started to walk back the way I came. Fuck yeah, you did.
How do we know it's not E.T.?
Yeah. Well, the hooded cloak, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe E.T. borrowed someone's.
What are those little creatures on Star Wars?
Oh, I don't know.
Anyways, I turned around and started to walk back the way I came and never went back to that area of the mountain range. That area was not traveled since there were no dirt roads or tracks, so who knows what was up there. All I know, it was not human, and I've never been back since. This was back in the 90s. Back in the 90s.
Remember the 90s?
Back in the 90s.
I actually lived in California in the 90s.
Did you really? Mm-hmm. In the 90s?
Yep.
I feel like the 90s weren't that long ago, but they really were.
I know.
Okay. And there's another one. Michael of Thousand Oaks, California, 2019 for April 2019. He says, I've camped a few times in Santa Lucia Range near Cone Peak, right near the coast. And we were camping up on some of the coastal ridges there, overlooking the ocean, and definitely experienced some very strange energy. I mean, they might have been smoking marijuana.
Maybe.
I don't know. My first time up there.
Doing acid.
There were 3 of us, including myself. One person and myself both actually spotted one of the watchers up on a high ridge, partially obscured by low-flying clouds. Neither of us were familiar with them at this time and chalked it up to a tree. When we slept that night, we felt an indescribable discomfort and decided to keep moving north the next morning.
Interesting.
This guy's got an interesting name. Kick Boy Face of Moreno Valley.
All right.
Kick Boy? What up, Kick Boy? This one's 2011.
Okay.
Interesting stuff. Many years ago, I was with a friend driving through a dirt field here in Moreno Valley near Alessandro, old east part, near where I believe were old abandoned barns that I always had heard were haunted. And when my friend's car broke down, could have been coincidence.
Ooh, that'd be scary.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's a scary movie right there.
It was a... I'm just imagining you going...
Oh, wait. Philip?
I saw a dark watcher.
Philip, we got a movie, and I think it's a hit. Oh, my God. You said... Didn't you say he had a hat?
It was a dark shadow.
It was.
I don't remember if he had a...
You said he was wearing a cloak, and he had... No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, did I say that? No. I don't remember.
No, but oh my gosh.
Yeah. When we were up there and you were having fun, like trying to get the car started. It was like,
oh my God.
It was like a horror movie where people can't get the car started.
Oh my God. Okay, we have a movie.
Philip. Okay. I'm trying to find where I was.
Sorry, they were at the barn. They pulled up.
Near what I believe
broke down.
Were old abandoned barns that I always had heard were haunted. When my friend's car broke down, could have been coincidence. It was a beat up Volkswagen Bug. It was dusk at best, and there was no way we were going to make it out of the field before it was pitch black. And instead of chancing getting retardedly, sorry guys, that is his word, lost and or hurt in the dark, we decided to sleep in the car and set out in the morning to go get help to tow the car. It was way before the days of everyone having cell phones and quick help. As we were killing time in the pitch black now, we were hanging out inside and outside of the car, killing time, sharing smokes. Oh my God. And we started to distinctly see what looked like black shadows, evenly distributed, completely encircling us.
No. That's scary.
They did not move. They stayed motionless, but were of significant size, and based on the distance, I could say at least the size of a small car, like the bug we ourselves were in. And whatever these were seemed hunched over, perhaps kneeling.
What?
Ooh, that's creepy. Time passed. They never moved. And though we walked around the car and got in and out of the car to see if what we were seeing was some sort of optical illusion, yeah, they were both having this. Like, it can have been like some marijuana induced, or
both of them.
They were both seeing it. To see what we were seeing was some sort of optical illusion, yet we couldn't explain or discredit what we were seeing. To this day, it racks my brain.
Okay, that's my favorite one right there.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I have.
That guy's the winner.
Winner, chicken dinner. So,
woo, that was good. I'm glad that we did this story.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing the majority of the reading stuff.
I was like, do you want to take turns? I could read a few more stories out there, but yeah. Go to this. Let's see if I can say it. Weirdca.com.
Yeah.
And at that, you just scroll all the way to the bottom, and a bunch of people have like written in their stories.
I'm gonna read it.
Yeah.
Now I will say, like the Arizona guy, the watchers are spotted not just in California. They're spotted in other places, even like New Jersey, Canada has some spottings.
Really?
Yeah. Where was another place I heard? Canada. Gosh. Anyway, there are other places. They're not just strictly California.
Right.
And you know what's interesting if you think about it? A lot of the places where they are, there's water. And what do we always say about water? Because that's where a lot of the alien activity,
right,
spirit forms stronger.
Right.
Like the Queen Mary has all that action.
Oh, yeah. Well, not only that, yeah, like a lot of ghostly activity even occurs
with lakes
when there's
and rivers. And...
when it's raining.
Oh, yeah, when it's raining. But I'm just saying. I wonder if that has something to do with it.
Could be. You never know.
But
I
anyway.
do think it's an interesting connection between the biblical or non-biblical, whatever you want to say.
It once
Watchers.
was biblical.
Yeah. And possibly these beings. Like, what are they? Like, are they ghosts? They could be ghosts.
But are they aliens? Because they sound a lot like aliens, too, being very tall.
Yeah. I don't know.
When people
I'm
mention
less inclined
aliens,
to think
they'll say that they're tall and lengthy, or they're 3 feet tall. They're either 10
really
feet
short
tall or really, really short.
Right.
But who knows? They could be from another planet that we don't know of. Like maybe they're not the gray little guys, but they're a different one.
They're just watching us. Maybe they're
maybe they are watchers.
Sasquatch.
Maybe they dressed up in a cloak. Yeah, he makes his own cloak. Or
it could be Gandalf. You never know.
I mean, I want to hear what everybody else thinks too.
Yeah.
Interact with us. We need you.
We need reassurance. Tell us you're out there.
I hate talking to myself every day.
Hey, if you're a mother, you know what talking to yourself feels like.
My daughter's boyfriend is in town, and it was just him and I today. Mm-hmm. Well, Allie's at work, and so we're watching. I said Allie hates it when we're watching TV, and I'm talking during the whole. She'll be like, "Oh my God, you talk during the whole show." I'm like, I don't talk to any humans all day long, and when would you like me to share things with you? Because I'm not allowed to talk during a show. I'm not allowed to talk to you in the car because the music's on. So, and then all other times you're at work. So, like, when am I supposed to converse with you? So here I did. I'm sitting there with Brody, and I'm like trying not to talk during the whole show, but I'm trying to also get to know him more.
Right.
So I'm talking during the whole show. I'm like, Brody, God. I'm so sorry. Gotta ask you something.
I feel Ellie's pain because I hate when people talk to me when I'm watching my favorite show.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
When people talk to me while I'm watching a show and I'm into it, or when I'm watching a movie, but I don't ever get to talk to her.
Right. No,
so
I get it.
I'm like, here we are both sitting in the same room. I'm going to have, otherwise, like if I go in her room while she's getting ready to go to bed, so she's like, ugh, or she's getting ready to go in the shower. Ugh. I'm like, so when am I supposed to talk to you? Oh, how about right now? We can pause it. I will not talk to somebody if you can't pause it.
Right.
We can pause that shit.
Hit pause.
Have a conversation with your mom. And then if I have the controller, I do pause it. But if she has it, she just gets frustrated. I'm like, pause that shit.
She's like,
oh my God, you talk during the whole thing. Well, have a conversation with me once in a while and I won't talk during the whole thing.
you're like, all I have is Shadow to talk to all day.
And she's just a mean bitch. So she just meow, meow, meow.
You just wait until you have Athena over there.
I can't wait because she'll talk to me.
She'll talk to you. She will smother you.
I'm so excited.
She is.
I mean, she is a bit clingy. That was a lot.
Very
apparent.
You can't.
I'm like, Alma does this with I would tell Allie, Alma does this with all the dogs. I don't know how she does it because they are all around her and she's trying to do stuff around the house and they're all at her feet.
Like I said, when you walk in and I look like completely frazzled, like, and I'm over here with the water bottle, like, get back, get back, get back.
And I go, don't
you're
do
like,
that.
Why are you hurting my babies with water?
Hey, but they behave.
They do behave.
They're really, they're actually really good.
Well, my hubby's got the other two in the room with them. That's why you don't hear any dogs barking and whining tonight.
Licking the...
I was just telling Carlene. I'm gonna tell this one more story before we close out for the night. But I was just telling Carlene, Albert's phone broke, and it's his business phone, so he went and got a new phone. right away that day. And that night, he's like re-recording his new message. And as he's recording the message, which was hilarious because he had to record it so many times, re-record it so many times because he's so used to like talking into his phone. He's got that voice talk. And then like when he ends a sentence, he says period.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? So here he is recording this message and he says period.
Oh, no.
And then he finished the message and he's like, how did that sound? And I said, you said period. And he busted out laughing.
Hilarious.
So he tried to record it again. He did it again. And we were just laughing so hard.
Oh, my God,
but
that's funny.
one of them was like perfect, like all the way through. But except the fact that Shorty, I think we've mentioned this before, that she likes to primp and groom her babies. But okay, I know mother dogs do this with their puppies.
Yeah.
You know, they clean up after them when they go to the bathroom, but she's never stopped doing this with them.
So gross.
So they come inside and she is totally eating their ass. So I was like trying to keep them from like making noises while he's trying to record this. I don't know why he didn't go in the other room, but
or come in here.
Yeah, but he didn't. And there's the sound of her going,
She's just snoring.
She's snoring right now. Oh my God.
Can you imagine? This is, wait, you do the message like you're Albert.
Hi, this is Albert from the Touch Up team. You've reached us and we are probably in the middle of a repair.
Alma, stop it. Stop licking my balls. Not now. I'm trying to.
I'm dead.
Oh my God.
They tell you. Okay. One of our listeners, and she's one of your clients, Clarice. No, has nothing to do with licking ass or anything like that. But I actually,
I forget I have clients that listen to this.
I know.
I can't separate the two.
I don't know what the hell I did. I had the baby that night, and I made a group text or a group message in Messenger. And there was like 5 or 6 people that like I invited to the. I have no idea.
God,
like this was
hilarious.
not like I wasn't sleepwalking. It wasn't like ambient induced. It was like I don't know what I did. Like I must have just been like my phone was in my pocket and I didn't turn it off. I have no idea. Well, anyways, I didn't know this until the next day.
My God.
And Clarice is one of the first persons that like messages on there, and she says, "Hey, so what's up?" And I look at it and I was like,
What?
"Oh, what is this?"
Oh my
And I'm
God,
looking and
that's
I'm like,
hilarious.
"Huh?"
I don't know.
Huh?
What?
I'm like trying, and then I was
wasn't
like,
even a
"Oh
drunk
my
text.
God!" So like, I didn't mean to create. I don't know how I created this group.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, it was weird. So I don't know what I did. I must not have turned off my phone and like had it still in my hand, and it must have been on Facebook.
Oh, maybe.
I have no idea, but it was hilarious. She's like, "So what's up?"
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And she's like, "You want to call this the Fight Club?" Like it was hilarious.
She is so adorable, isn't
Yeah,
she?
she's cute. Anyways,
I have
so
the best people.
you do.
I don't really think I have any that I'm like,
No, you have good people,
yeah.
and they listen to us.
I'm so happy. Except for that I'm sitting here talking.
Licking my husband's balls.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That was a good
Thanks.
one, though. I'm going to have to say.
This was
yeah.
a good story.
Yeah, it was.
Good story.
All right, everybody. So, if you like it, you can tip us at
KO sprite-fi.com/tipsy tales.
There you go. You probably have a link somewhere on our thing.
Yeah, I have links everywhere.
There you go.
On our Instagram, if you go to our Instagram.
Do we still have our Patreon?
We do have our
There you
Patreon.
go. There's that. It's easier just to go tip us, though.
Yeah, because it comes directly to us, and
Yeah.
Patreon takes a little piece out
Go
of
ahead.
it. But,
Go-
either way, whatever you guys want to do.
Whichever one.
But Patreon requires you to...
Make a commitment.
Yeah.
A couple, a
Ko-fi
little
is
tip.
like...
It's just a tip.
Yeah.
You don't have to make the
That's
commitment.
what he said.
Yeah. After you licked his balls. Here, honey, I got you a tip.
Okay, we better go now.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
I'm Alma.
Sure you are.
Well,
And she's
wow.
Carlene.
Wait a minute. If I'm Alma, that means I was licking your husband's balls. And that
Ew.
just would not
Okay,
be
like I'm having visuals right now. Let's stop. Good night, you
So
guys.
tonight I am Carlene.
Tonight she's Carlene. And I am Alma. Good night.